Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be doing a review of both the cartoon version and the IDW version of Magic Square's MS-B52 Munitioner. They're releases of Swindle. This is, of course, part of their Legends Bruticus line, and I'm pretty stoked with the stuff that they've released for this set so far. So, difference in boxes, as you can see, you got the cartoon version here with the purple and gold and yellow, and then you have the IDW version here with the black and reflective on the front. So two totally different approaches as far as boxing goes, but let's see what they have in store for us. All right, let's get into it. First and foremost, in the box you get a set of instructions in each one. Surprisingly, they are a different color, but it looks like they took the instructions for the D and they're very bright and vibrant. With the original, they seem softened and faded, if that makes sense. So the instructions are definitely easier to read on the set that comes with the IDW version, which is odd. They do both come with different versions of the collector's card, both legend scale, both sharing the box art that they came with. And on the back you do get a silhouette and stats. They both come with cannons and pretty much identical, but they are nicely sculpted. They both come with rocket blasters, again identical, but they look really good and true to the cartoon. They both come with a mounting arm, so you can mount the weapons in alt mode. And again, identical, but they are nice and functional. They both come with a spare wheel, done identically with charcoal silver, dark silver, and black for the tires. And they both come with a foot for combine mode. IDW version in gray with a lot more detail, and the Toon version in the same colors as Swindle, the tan. Both do have some nice articulation to them. They have toe tilt up and down. No ankle tilt, but they do have ankle pivot, which is nice. As far as weapon storage, you have a few different options. The cannon can be placed on the front of his arm using these peg holes, which appear on both sides, giving it that cartoon look. It can also be stored on the side of the arm, which I know it's not cartoon accurate, but this is what I prefer because you don't lose that articulation in the elbow. But both look pretty awesome. Another thing you can do is you can store his accessory, the mounting system, on his back, but it does limit you to the spare tire being visible behind the head, which I don't like. So I'm just going to leave the accessory off and give it a more flush look with the spare tire on the rear. So let's take a look at the figure. Now, we'll start with the cartoon version because he does seem to be the topic of some heated debate. The faceplate is black. No way around it. It's very dark. I can see why they went this way because it is very, very dark in the cartoons. But it's not black. So I can see why a lot of people are upset by this. Now, it was pointed out to me by Chuck C on Facebook. Shout out to Chuck. The faceplate is actually removable. So Magic Square could have very easily put a gray face in with the Toon version. But a lot of people prefer the gray, which is on the IDW version only. The gray is my preferred face as well, just because this doesn't provide any detail, and from a distance it's ugly. I'm not gonna lie. So I've actually started a Facebook post on Magic Square Toys page. Check it out. Asking that potentially they put a gray face for Munitioner in upcoming Toon releases of the set. So check it out. Like it if you're interested. Maybe we can get them to see what everybody wants and put an extra face, a gray face, in future releases. Anyhow, moving on. The head sculpt is very nice. It nicely detailed. I love the purple eyes, which come through on both. Black plastic throughout on this version. The other version has a gray painted face. But as far as articulation, can look up all the way. A little bit down. Very small amount of attitude. And do a full 360. I like that it's solid across the shoulders. Lots of tan plastic throughout. Shoulders are interesting because due to the transformation joint, you do have the ability to move them up and down, so you can choose how you want them to appear. And there is a ball joint, so you get a little bit of butterfly motion, but they can go up to there, and if you want, you can actually go all the way up. It's great. As far as rotation, right above the elbow, as you would expect, more than 90 degrees on that elbow bend, and the fists are on ball joints so they can rotate. Wonderful. You got the light blue on the windshield, which is very bright. I may try and seek out some cel-shaded windows for them later. But you do have full waist rotation and a very, very nice ab crunch. Purple plastic throughout. On the hips, you do have actually some tan paint with blue headlights. It's great. You got the grill from the Jeep coming through. Looks nice. Hip skirts do come out, giving you the ability to go out 90 degrees. The forward motion is nice because it goes inside the hip skirt, so no necessary movement there, and it does give you a very high forward kick. Rotation at the hip. Black plastic for the thighs. Coming down to the knees, you do get a very nice double jointed knee. And then looking at the details, you've got the tires and some, not much sculpted detail, but it's nice that they included that. And same for the outside. He's got tires there as well. But with the tires on the shoulders, he's got 2, 4, 6 wheels visible in alt mode. Which Jeeps only have 4 wheels, right? A little bit confused by that, but anyhow, coming down to the feet, no up and down as far as articulation on the feet, which is a little bit disappointed. The toe can go up, but that's it. And then you do have the rotation. So overall, just despite that up and down on the foot, articulation is magnificent. A lot of people have complained because there's no back motion, but I mean, that's been pretty much standard for the last how many releases from Magic Square. It doesn't bother me, honestly. I think the articulation's fantastic. And this is where I don't like it. It's a bit messy, and you've got more wheels, giving us 8 wheels visible in alt mode. I wish they could have done something different here, but luckily we don't display our bots from the back, right? Backpack is pretty clean. You've got the winch there. This is where you can bring in the spare tire. So overall detail and articulation is pretty fantastic. I'm just confused about the number of wheels they gave him. And here is the IDW version. Articulation and everything is exactly the same. The difference is, of course, the clear windshield and the much better gray face. In my opinion, that is fantastic. So literally the only differences are right here, these two things. Here we have them both with their fellow Combaticon Brawl. Magic Square's Heavy Gunner. And here we have them with Magic Square's Detective, their Hound. It's nice to see that they didn't really copy anything from this mold. They went with something entirely original. And even though they're both Jeeps, it's interesting to see that Swindle's a little bit taller. And here we have them both in Jeep mode. So let's take a closer look. Again, only difference being the windshield now. You've got a very nice Swindle aesthetic. Silver on the wheels coming through really well. They both do, they roll surprisingly good, especially considering the back of the wheels split in half. It's awesome that they're able to get it to do that. A bit ugly here. You do have the steering wheel that you can bring out. A little bit limited as far as angle, but it's not bad. Got the black seat backs. Lots of tan plastic. A little bit disappointing there. And the fact that there's no tail lights is a bit of a bummer. But you do have the black bumper coming across the back. Speaking of bumpers, you do have the black bumper and the winch on the front. Nice blue headlights. Purple plastic for the hood. Really, it's a nicely done Jeep mode, to be honest. And there's the difference between the two versions. Very minimal. One thing you can do now, you can bring in your accessory tower, and it's very simple to install. Just separate it a little bit, slide it into this gap on both sides, and then reattach the connection there in the middle, and you have that look going. Really is fantastic in both versions. I do really enjoy the figure. He's really nice. The parts I don't like the most, the side transformation here. If you can see that peg, there's a specific hole that it has to go to in order for it to stay flush, and it's not the easiest connection. And it's not my favorite transformation that we've seen from Magic Square, to be honest. But the end result is a really nice cartoon looking Jeep. Don't forget to add your spare tire to the rear. Once again, here we have them with their teammate Brawl. And also, once again, Magic Square's Hound. Final thoughts on the figure. I think that despite which route you go as far as cartoon or IDW, the mold is fantastic. So far with Brawl and now Swindle, the set turns out to be looking to be amazing. I know that there's the people that are upset because you have to buy two different versions to get the two different combiner options. It's definitely a different route than what they took with their Minosaur, and people just aren't happy with it. People feel that both options should have been included in the set, which I can see that. But they did release two different versions of the chest, so you would have been limited there. Anyhow, the black face doesn't bother me as much as it does some. Since I did buy multiple, one of each, I have the gray face, so I'm content, but I can see why a lot of people are upset. So hopefully Magic Square takes notice and they release a gray face for him in later Toon versions. We can only hope. But other than that, there is a lack of paint, but that's pretty much Magic Square's business model, right? So we can expect another version, maybe another matte set or a metallic, and I'm foolish enough to probably purchase that too. Anyhow, I do recommend it. Despite which route you take, I think you'll be happy ultimately. So I got mine from the showzstore.com. Check them out. Amazing store to work with, even though they're international. Shipping is pretty fast, and they come through. Well worth it to look at them as a way to get these. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to get your bell on so you get notified of future content. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time.